Hello again. Um, well, I would like to start the video by saying that my name is Wesley. I was just looking at this book here. I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with the language that's in these first pages. It's called The Hobbit. Apparently, it's from like some part of on the other side of the globe. Uh, Whoever wrote this definitely isn't from the United States of America. And he's writing a lot about the small things of life. The book is called The Hobbit. The author is J.R.R. Tolkien. The Enchanting Prelude to the Lord of the Rings. Um, I would show you the cover of it, but I'm pretty sure there's like a copyright involved where I can't show you that. One of the characters has a map from this person called Thror, though without the R, it sounds like Thor, the god of lightning. But it's very hard to pronounce. And there's a Bjorn's Hall. There's a gate. There's a town that's actually called Lake Town. And apparently it's in the wilderness somewhere. I just kind of ran through the book. I just kind of X'd out of, but I kind of write in books. I circle keywords and I cross out parts that I don't like. It's about a runic at first. There's a door. I'm not sure how many rooms. He goes on to explain the colors of whatever he's writing about. He spelled colors wrong. Colors doesn't have a U in it. It's Colors. And boots is BO, two O's and a T and a S. And then he says good morning from Bilbo. The next page, it's kind of funny. It says good morning again. Goes on to explain the process of saying good morning to whoever. Fireworks. Hmm. This is interesting. If you're a fan of the Lord of the Rings trilogy and if you read the Hobbit books, you'll find it interesting that in the around page 8 um, of the Hobbit, which is all three the you know how they made the movie and they broke it up into three Blu-rays. So like the first one is called Unexpected Journey. The second one is called The Desolation of Smog, and the third one is called The Battle of Five Armies. Well, in this book, they put it all together, and there's a hooded cloak character in the beginning. Uh, I don't know. I was really excited when I first read that. I kind of ran through the process of in my head the scene when you were first introduced to Strider in the Fellowship of the Ring when he's smoking through the pipeweed. Seed cakes. Gandalf. And on page 11, I was kind of disgruntled that there were so many dwarves in this book. Uh, all their names sound like kind of dumb, but kind of well put together. So like the B word is bomber, and he spelled it with a if in the middle of it. He threw in the ove, so OF. Finished it off with a UR. Then of course there's Thorin, there's Biffer, there's Bofer, Bomber. Those are my favorite dwarves. and it's all the dwarves. They're on a journey to the. If you look at the, if you thumb through the beginning of the book, you'll find the map and where they're headed. They're first they're gonna run into the dragon. They have to steal the stone, or they have to steal it back. The dragon is just holding it, keeping it for himself, just to some kind of insurance by mythical portals, and it's a long process. It's a really long book. It's years in the making. Then of course there's Under the Hill. No, Underhill. That's what they call Frodo. It's Frodo's name. I didn't know dwarves were sometimes quiet people, or quiet dwarves, or people, or beings. Though they're short tempered. Because the next page, page 17, goes on to explain struck by lightning and an exclamation mark. Though Bilbo Baggins, at a young age, he was really hesitant when the dwarves came over and bolted through his house. They were eager to invite him as the burglar to steal the gem, or the Arkenstone. I read all the I'm a really fast reader. It's not hard for me to read. My brain, it switches from like bipolar to schizophrenia, depression, at times happiness, though it hides. If you could imagine the expression of like I forgot what the actor's name was, where he was in the movie Split and Glass with Samuel L. Jackson. He was in Snakes on the Plane. I kind of have that thing. I suffer from that. From from that mental illness. Though I still seem to feel that I'm down a valley, but not necessarily a valley of the shadow of death. Um, I'm not quite sure what that means. I just heard it in rap. This one's more about caves, wilderness, cold rivers, a character named Gollum. So that's in rap. Um, they have the word necromancer. I'm familiar with the New York rapper named he goes by the short name Necro. He made such hits as what's that song called? I Need Drugs. And he filmed it in New York with his uncle Howie. I saw the documentary of it on YouTube. And it looks like there's a lot of them talking, not just the Hobbit, but the dwarves as well. Meanwhile, they're eating, they're singing, they're chanting. Though I don't think they're familiar with like how much danger it comes with living in a home with like big people like dwarves in such tight spaces. Like if you could imagine living with a squirrel, like that just wouldn't work out. This book doesn't work at all. And there is approximately 30, 80, 143, 181, 219, 223, goes on to 200, past the 200 mark. And You already know it's pretty much 300 pages of uh, um, whoever directed the movie did a fantastic job of the team that they got together with Weta Digital. I was a big fan of Lord of the Rings when they came out with the extended edition. I didn't see all of those because um, um, when I used to live with my brother as a roommate, he used to pick on me about uh, how I can't really like scroll through the indexes and pick scenes how I like. Um, he would go on to explain that it's better just to watch the whole thing and just process the whole thing in your head. Though I don't see it like that. Growing up, I learned to live past that because I found out it was wrong. Though I'm pretty sure he's the only one that's like that. I'm kind of different. I was the younger brother, so though there was a lot of exclamation points in my when I turned 18 and I grew up, and then exclamation points doubled, and they even tripled at one point. But eventually everything turned to commas, periods, colons. That's kind of funny. There's interesting artwork in this movie. I mean, in this book, dwarves and people hiding in the dark. So the chapter I'm on is called Roast Mutton or Roast Mutton, and it really capitalizes small things like potatoes, and they're just enjoying their food. He really capitalizes on that. J.R.R. Tolkien. So let me know in the comments if like you're a writer that likes to write in the grass, or do you like to sit at your laptop? And do you like the video? Do you hate it? Uh, Write in the comments things that maybe you could help me out with. But no addresses, no not where you work, not where you live. Just overall your opinion. Like what have you gone through in your life as an adult? This book is about elves. Suddenly they were singing, not the elves because elves don't sing. The hobbits and the dwarves they saw elves and they came up with a song. That's interesting. I'm on page 48. That's a good number for a writer like J.R.R. Tolkien. The book should get better from this point. If you're interested in like lucky numbers, my favorite food is you'll be surprised, but my favorite food is Chinese food. Though I'm really hungry, so I don't just eat Chinese food. I also eat like pizza and like sandwiches and seafood, fast food. Though I don't really have a problem with my weight, I still lift weights. So I keep my physique somewhat like in the dark. Though I spoke to my doctor if I might experience some things like flashing lights and strobes. I thought that was just the environment living on Earth. Some people have seen UFOs and like wrote stories about um things they have seen that eventually became conspiracies, and people that didn't believe them. Though there were witnesses of like people that were there when there were UFOs flying about. I mean, that could just be the lightning playing with us. That could be like different forms of lightning that well, we call them UFOs because we can identify the well, lightning has to be zigzaggy. Lightning has to be like a line. Though I'm not quite sure where I stand with like how things should be on Earth. Um, I don't get it. I don't get most of it. It's just lightning strikes, you hear the thunder, and it starts to pour. Though sometimes there's lightning during sunlight. I think. Um, I play a lot of video games. I'm an artist. They seem to be on the edge of the mountains, looking for a way in the cave. They've gone past the hill. They've gone under it. So they're though I didn't see any they're at the part where they meet the goblins. And there's a small poem about goblins. Though I'm not quite sure if you sing a poem or if you should mumble a poem. But I would place my bet on mumbling a poem. I'm more of a fan of rap. They just kind of go fast. Though you kind of get lost in some of the words that they put together. It rhymes. It's a um, they come up with these ideas that are really exquisite, and they do it really fast, really quick. Page 63. It says, quite suddenly, Dory, now at the back again, carrying Bilbo, was grabbed from behind in the dark. He shouted and fell, and the hobbit rolled. There's a colon there, and then the hobbit rolled off his shoulders into the blackness, and there's a comma. Bumped his head on a hard rock, comma, and remembered nothing more. And the rest of the page is blank. And here's where I'll stop the video. And the next chapter is called Chapter 5. One of my favorite Roman numerals. It's called Riddles in the Dark. So if you like the video, like it. If you want to give it a thumbs down because the video ends and you want to see the next chapter, too bad.